Now let's talk about the vent spacer. So I've designed this adapter to allow for the installation of a fan to improve or to increase your airflow out of the vent in case of weak airflow. So if you're going to need a fan, there are some critical dimensions to be aware of, right? The size of the fan must be 80 by 80 by 25 millimeter. They are everywhere. Amazon has hundreds or thousands of different varieties of 80 millimeter fans online. They're pretty popular in computers and things like that. The airflow, the more CFMs, right, cubic feet per minute, this one's rated for 30. The more CFMs, the better. Noise level, they all tend to be pretty quiet, right? This is 25 dBs, decibels, but not a big deal. As far as the voltage rating, you are going to, if you're going to get a fan, you're going to want one that is a USB powered fan, right? So it's a fan with a USB connector plug on it, and you can find those on Amazon pretty cheap. So installation steps of the fan, right? So first, let's go ahead and use the Allen wrench that was included in the kit to remove these 4 screws. It's pretty easy. All right, one. Now I'll go through the rest of it. Okay, with all 4 screws loosened or removed, make sure we can take these out. These are a little bit, the ones on the bottom are a little bit obstructed because of this back thing, but that's okay. This simply, can bend and fold out, and you should be able to remove the vent or the fan adapter from the frame. Save 2 screws. We're going to need 2 screws when we install the fan. Now, one thing that needs to be said, this adapter should never be used without either the fan spacer installed or a fan installed. The reason for that is that these screws are keeping the vent coupler attached. Now this is bonded, to the surface of the vent, so I don't anticipate this falling off. But let's not gamble. So let's go ahead and install a fan. And again, this is a fan. This is the 80 by 80 by 25 millimeter fan. So that typically means that it's 80 millimeters square by 25 millimeters wide. And these fans have airflow. You usually have airflow and rotation direction on it. And this one says airflow goes out this way. So that is how we would want to install the fan. Now, routing the wires of the fan, there are 2 options available to us. One, there is a punch out at the bottom of this adapter. It says USB. You can use a screwdriver or something to punch this out. And once this is punched out, you should be able to thread a USB plug from the fan out through that location. If that's not something that you're interested in, there is also 2, when this is installed, there is a hole that you can absolutely route, the fan wires through. So after deciding how you're going to route the wires, I'm just going to, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use, the hole that's at the top as opposed to punching out the USB. So we got the airflow direction correct. Now it's time to install the fan. Once you've decided how to route the wires and you've got your airflow correct, the next piece is to actually install the fan. You'll stick the bottom edge down through the obstructed area first. And then this plastic, again, is pretty strong. And once you have that bottom edge fully seated back against here, you're going to give it a push. And once you got it started, that's the hardest part. Once you've got that first edge past the lip, you can go ahead and push the rest of the fan in. And that should be fully seated right against the adapter. And once you have your fan installed, we'll go ahead and install two screws at the top, at the two most accessible screw holes, and using the Allen wrench to secure that into place. Again, you should never use this vent cover unless you have either a fan installed or the fan spacer installed, because these screws are keeping this the connector, right, securely fastened to the adapter. So with your fan installed, you can route your wire and connect your fan, and then there you go. And then you're ready to go. Now, if you got a USB, if you bought a USB fan, you could certainly use one of the car chargers to power your fan, or if your rear console has USB ports, you could plug that right into plug your fan right into it. One thing to be aware of is that, and I don't know if this is true for all cars, whether those USB ports are powered on all the time, meaning that when you're not in your car, and if this is plugged in, you don't necessarily want this running all the time. So that's something that you should check. And if it is powered on all the time, you'll need to unplug it when you're not using it.